Turn is the 9 of diamonds. Wow. Alex with a chance. Needs a diamond. Oh my God, that's so disgusting. Eunice with some comments in the chat about the tickets. All players know before they register for this that there is a certain amount of money taken out of the prize pool for these World Series of Poker Europe main event tickets. This is well broadcasted. This is well and widely known. And all players seem to be very happy about it. I never hear any complaints. What a golden opportunity it is to play such a prestigious event. And isn't it a great complaint to have to get down to the final table and be playing for one of those aforementioned tickets? And it creates an extra edge to the live experience. Players playing very cagey with those tickets up for grabs, and it can create some really interesting and funky hands to commentate on. Blinds have gone up, 200, 400, 400. We've got action. Alex 3-betting to 1.5 mil. Sittner the opener, or lack of the opener. Marcel Sittner in the big with 6 bigs, 6.5. So Alex is priced in here. It is 8s against 9s all in. 6.5 mil in the pot. Five, 9, 6, 4 is the board, and the river is the 7 of diamonds. What a river that is for Alex. Backup is going to shove from the button. And Urban with just Jack 8 offsuit lets it go. 8s for Adam. He's got to be calling this one. Blinds have just gone up as well. 250, 500, 500. And we're getting close to that redraw. And there is also a page on Blooming of a few €100. So that must mean there are 17 players remaining. Either 18 or 17 remaining right now. And the hymn and the horn would indicate that the pay jump has not been reached. So current payout is 2,385. Next elimination then. Pay jump will be to 2,755. Adam has to call this one. Just 4 bigs behind. Does eventually put the last of his money over the line. Ace in the window. And a 5 and a 4. Adam needing help now, or he will be eliminated. Needs an 8. Turn is the king of diamonds. River is the 4 of hearts. So we will lose another player. Pay jump has been reached. 17 players remaining now. We are 1 elimination away from the redraw. Pistol Pete has been moved to the outer table. Richie, jeez, can't speak today. Current payout is €3,510. 13 players remaining now. 4 eliminations away from the final table. Yeah, we lose Pistol Pete, but we do have Mikutsu with the ladies. Min raising. Jack 10-4 is the flop, and this could spell disaster for Mikutsu. $3.2 million in here already, and Alex is going to bet 1.7 on the button. And Mikutsu might just decide to try get it all in here against the jack. Could go for either or here. when the stacks are this shallow, it's going to be easy to get the money in on the turn if he does just decide to call. Does decide to just go for the jab. That's going to get snapped off by Alex, and this is very unfortunate for Mikutsu, who had a very deep run last week as well. And it looks like, unless Mikutsu gets lucky, we're going to have another elimination. Turn is the ace of spades, and that gives Mikutsu additional equity. A lot of additional equity, and that is, wow. That's one of those cards. Queen of diamonds hits the river. Mikutsu on the button. Pocket queens. Alex going to 3-bet with the ace-10. Ill timing. Has the hand to do it with. Does 3-bet to 3.1 million. And Mikutsu now just deciding whether to call or 4-bet rip. Both options are fine. Well, I expect we will see a jam considering we're on the final table bubble. So Mikutsu is going to take their time. Could do a click back to 5 million or so. Maybe I've been watching too much online poker. Flicking it back to 5.5 mil here seems pretty sexy to me. Mikutsu decides to just call. I like this. Not worried about seeing a flop. 1 over card. And Alex have some of that. We've got Akin 7.4 million in this pot. Very surprised to see Alex checking that one. We've got a good shot straight draw. Because he's going to control the size of the pot by checking back. 2 kings on board now. And if we didn't bet the flop, now surely we need to bet the turn. Get rid of all those small pairs. Stops us getting bluffed ourselves. But Alex decides he doesn't like this flat pre from Mikutsu and therefore is just going to check a second time. And Mikutsu doesn't need to bet much. He could bet like 2.5 mil. Goes for 2 million. That is incredible stuff there from Alex. Check raises on the turn. Gets Mikutsu to fold queen. That all happened so fast there, folks. I need to catch up on that. Queen's going into the muck. I don't know what Alex is doing there on the turn, but it works. Milan raising the 1.6 here on the button, getting 3 bet from Wojciech to 4 mil. King 10 off suit in the small. Milan is going to call pre. Very small 3 bet, but I still think Milan should be folding pre-flop. He is getting very good odds. Those flop top pair. If we were suited, I would way prefer this. If Wojciech is going to put enough out there to put Milan all in. This pot just getting huge. If you're going to bet this much on the flop, why not 3 bet bigger pre? If you 3 bet bigger pre, Milan can't call. So going for this tiny sizing, now going for the overbet, don't make much sense to me. Not sure what you think of this one in the chat. I don't think Milan's going to be folding. He's just afraid of an overpair or a jack with a better kicker. But that's c'est la vie. If that is the case, we can see it's not. And Wojciech has stutter stepped here big time, in my opinion. Milan calling them off. And look at the size of this pot, 33 million. Turn is the ace, river is the 9, and Milan will be absolutely stoked about that one. Wojciech sending a lot of pink chips. But it is a 1 million big blind. I think there was 150 million chips in play or something. I think like around that area, Johan was saying. Johan, the main man. Mikutsu under the gun +1. Pistol Pete raising it up. Mikutsu is just going to call, and I like this call. Look at this, 9-10-4 is the flop. Straight draw for Wojciech coming along for the ride in the big. Queen 8 offsuit. Pistol Pete says have some of that. Bets 2 million into 2 players. I don't think there's much Mikutsu could have done there, bar 3 bet. And I think with ICM it's just fine to just call. Wojciech is going to call for 2 mil. The turn is the 7 of hearts. This board favouring the perceived big blinds defending range more so than the opening range of Pistol Pete under the gun. Does he want to fire a second time here? Has a good shot straight draw, blocks the straight with the jack. Could get a 9 or a 4 to fold. Can put significant pressure on a 10 by the river. Doesn't want to get check raised. 11.5 million already in this pot, so this is a big decision. Wojciech with a double gutter. Yeah, I'd like to see a bet of about 6 mil here. Goes for 6 million. Sets up a perceived river jam for 13.2 mil. Wow. Wojciech just moves all in. That's sick. I was not expecting Wojciech to do that. Daniel raising to 2 mil. Alex shoving for 11.4. Both players with the same hand, pocket fives. And Daniel's going to call here. I expected to see him fold with the ICM, but both players will be happy to be fist bumping. They have the same hand. This one going to go to Splitsville nearly all of the time. King Jack 4 is the flop. Turn is the 9 of diamonds. Wow. Alex with a chance. Needs a diamond. Oh my God, that's so disgusting. The queen of diamonds arriving on the river there. Daniel going to have to pay off nearly half his stack. That was brutal. Sergeant Psychotic says, what's the story? What's up? How are you getting on? Alex raising to 2.5 mil, and Mikutsu in the big. Going to defend, it looks like, with a very sexy King Queen of Hearts. Two pair here for Alex. Going to bet 2.5 mil on the ace 10 7-2 club flop. Mikutsu with a straight draw, but with nothing in hand, probably just has to let it go. I don't mind just calling here for this size, and actually the more I look at it. Does call this pot now 11.5 million as we see the turn. And that turn is the Jack of Diamonds. Mikutsu loving this. Yeah, the more I look at it, I think we have to call the flop. And somehow the turn goes check, check. I was expecting Alex to put in more money there. And now Mikutsu wants to size up, not down. Even though that 5 of diamonds does complete the flush, I want to get paid by 2 pair of hands. If we get raised, we can easily fold because it's pretty obvious our opponent will have a flush at that point. So I want to bet somewhere around 6.5 million, 7.5 million. 8.5 million. I like this sizing a lot. Because they're looking very comfortable, leaning back into their seat. And very difficult for Alex to fold 2 pair once he checked the turn. Having said all that, I don't know how many been Mikutsu's range bar miss clubs. This is just not going to be a spot where Mikutsu's going to be bluffing much, considering Alex was the opener. C-bet the flop, check the turn. But with 2 pair, maybe his hand is just too good and he has to pay. Under normal circumstances, we would just have to call this. But just look at the difference between 6th and 5th. You really can't afford to get this wrong. It's such a large portion of our remaining stack. A lot of hands that Mikutsu can't have. I mean, they can have 10s. Jacks, very unlikely. It's busted clubs, or there's no worse 2 pair that bets this river. An ace will check call. Diamonds get there as well. I feel like we could put 2 pair in the muck there. I know you're going to call me crazy in the chat for saying that, but when you really break it down, what are we beating? No pair, no draw says, for any of you that just want the braces, not the money, I would gladly accept a cashier's check if you win, since you don't want the money. It's all about those Benjamins, baby. Alex into hijack, 14 bigs, 10s. Again, I might just rip 10s. Pistol Pete. Pistol Pete from the streets. Pistol Pete's going to be putting the pressure back on Alex, and I don't think Alex is going to be folding pocket 10s. If we're just going to raise call, I probably prefer to just jam. Take some moves away from the big blind or whoever's behind us. But this is just going to be too strong from both opponents to do get it in. And look at the size of this pot, folks. 37.6 million. Pistol Pete, everything has been going right for this man so far. Alex has played pretty well in a couple of spots as well. This is a huge moment for both players involved. Alex is the at-risk player. Pistol Pete could have a humongous chip lead if he wins this one. Otherwise, it's going to be back to even Stevens. Jack 7 is the flop, and that is a great start for Alex. 6 outs for Pistol Pete, or he's going to be back down to 14 big blinds. Turn is a king. Always a surprise around the corner at Kings. Pistol Pete smacks that one out of the park. Can he hold? 2 outs in the deck for Alex. It's not one of them, it's the 8 of clubs. And we will lose Alex in 6th place. All remaining players can rejoice. They have secured that 10k ticket. Unlucky Alex, good game. Got to win the flips. Well, DJ Triple, you don't even come for the small streams. You want 15 hours minimum, you junkie, poker junkie. But let's not speak too soon. There are still 4 players remaining. And we have had some battles as of late. As you know, DJ Triple. DJ Triple says, sorry for being late. Well, you're here now. That's all that matters. A wizard arrives precisely when they mean to. Wojciech raising to 2.5 mil. And Mikutsu with another monster. This time ace king offsuit. DJ Triple says everyone needs to have an addiction. Yeah, you're very lucky if you only have one. Mikutsu cutting out a 3-bet to about 7 million. 6.6. Addicted to being addicted, DJ Triple. I mean, we're all addicted to our phones. Here we go. Milan, 4-bet ripping over the top. What the hell is going on here? I had to look twice at that. I didn't think that that's what happened there. Wow. 4-bet ripping. That's a huge jam. Mikutsu snapping off. And lo and behold, we've got another 35 million chip pot. Mikutsu way out in the lead. Milan needing severe help, or we will have back-to-back eliminations. Seven, 6, 4 is the flop. Turn is a 5. We could have a straight on the board. 8 outs for Milan as we hit the river. Oh my word, it's the Jack of Diamonds. I don't believe it. That is absolutely disgusting for Mikutsu. What can you do? We're going to have a huge hand here. Wojciech 3-betting to 12 million with pocket 10s. And Milan with a huge hand here, but he just wants to call because if he was to get it all in a coin flip situation here, it would be an absolute ICM disaster considering how short Mikutsu is. Having said all that, he could just 4-bet rip. Instead it comes Queen 9-7. Just one overcard for the pocket 10s. With that Queen is going to hit Milan's range a significant portion of the time. Wants to bet around 8 million. Goes for 10. What? Milan just moves them all in. That is such a sick play from Milan. Was not expecting that. He's got backdoor diamond working for him. He's got backdoor straight draw working for him. And he's got ace high. I would have thought we'd be seeing a turn. Milan raising to 5 million and Wojciech with ace jack. Could be 3-bet calling on this one. 3-betting and finding out what's up first. Milan is going to call. Ace 10 deuce is the flop, and Milan with top pair inferior to Wojciech's ace jack. Could see a lot of money go in here. And wow, Milan just decides to put it all in right here, right now. I was not expecting to see that. Thought he would just call. Wojciech snapping him off. Look at the size of this pot, 137 million. Milan can spike a 3. He will be your champion. Otherwise, Wojciech is going to have an overwhelming chip lead. On his clubs, we are going to have a big swing unless that river is a 3. And a 3 only. Oh my God, it's the 3 of hearts. That is unbelievable. Holy moly. 181 million. And that's going to do it. Wojciech coming up short at the hands of that man there. He is now your champion. Congratulations. What a first prize. 63,450 euro. Must be over the moon. Milan, thanks to everyone who tuned in. Channel grows each week, and it's because of you. Thanks to all the help from the moderators, of course. I'm going to get out of here. Let him enjoy all of his glory. What a day it was. Fantastic, action-packed day of poker. All under one roof. It's the King's Resort in Rozvadov. For now, I'm going to say my goodbyes. Catch me if you can. Up in Action Man Dan.